And welcome back, fellow adventurers, to Let's Play Kentucky Route Zero. We are back at the Museum of Dwellings, and so let's have a look around here and see what people have to say coming back from the woods, and maybe a comment about our new artificial leg, I guess? Looks really weird, you have to say. See what Shannon has to say about the development so far. How are the drugs treating you? I don't like to take medicine. Nah, it's good for you. He's a doctor, right? I know what you mean, though. My folks had a peculiar relationship with medicine. We almost never had a regular doctor or health insurance or anything like that. Our immigration stuff was a mess for most of my childhood, so we only qualified for state programs in small patches before something or other would get contested. And we learned to just pile on dentist appointments and stuff in those short windows. If I got a cut infected or her migraines were too much to handle, Mom would talk to so-and-so who knew so-and-so, usually another minor, and ended up with some pills. And instead of medical advice, every pill came with gossipy, anecdotal warnings and superstitions, like all this lore that came with it. Like magic, dangerous, mysterious. Weaver's folks couldn't help. Yeah, they had pretty good health care through the university for a while there. A couple of times they'd swing something so I got a bit of whatever Weaver needed. In high school, Weaver got these pills to help her focus. She was so smart, but always going off in different directions, mind racing, like 5 conversations going on in her head at once, and you're lucky if even one of them is with someone in the room, you know? So she had these pills, and they seemed to help. I was struggling in school too, failing my history class. She offered to share the pills. Did it help? At first, yeah, it helped a lot. I had a kind of presence and clarity of purpose that I never really had otherwise. I didn't want to stop taking them. One day I was sitting on my bed, my notebook was open next to me on top of a textbook, and I was holding a pen in my hand. I remembered this moment from several years before. It came up so suddenly, with such precision, I couldn't put it out of my mind. I felt I had to stay with it until I'd recalled the whole thing perfectly. It was just a tiny nothing moment. My mom patching up the side of a bird cage, winding some spare wire around the frame to reinforce it. I was fixated on that image and that sound. The cage kind of bending and twanging as she worked on it, rapping and nodding, scraping copper against paint like bowing a rubber violin with a railroad tie. My parents came back from a triple shift and found me still sitting there on the edge of the bed, pen in my hand, delirious with thirst, patching that bird cage with a thousand-yard stare. Ooh. Some side effects may be involved. Hey there, Blue. You get some rest back there? That doctor seemed nice enough. Just got in over his head is all. Yeah, and there's some room to question on what the doctor's motives really are in giving Conway this new leg. Seems like there might be some strings attached to it. Oh, I should mention that some people have commented in earlier videos about a couple things here and there that I missed. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say that if you notice that I've missed something as we're going along the main Let's Play here, let me know in the comment section, and then near the end I will post a bonus video where I try my best to hit all the points that I might miss. Again, it's mostly just because it's not really made clear in this game that you've missed something, because so much of what you can interact with is optional and doesn't often bring attention to itself. You'll see here that depending on where we go in the screen, we can actually be Ezra wandering around instead of Conway. I don't think they've ever actually made his age clear. Just by looking at his character model, I would guess that maybe he's 12? 13 maybe? Something like that. And you get close enough to the truck, and now it's we control Conway again. I don't think we can talk with our giant bald eagle friend, Julian, but he's there. See, the parking lot is very big, but at the same time, I'm not seeing anything to interact with. So I think I'm just going to go head on into the museum. We were here before, and we were treated to a slightly different point of view in the scene, kind of looking back on it, interviewing people that live now in the museum and that our protagonist had interacted with, but seen through reviewing the footage of the surveillance tape inside the museum. Let's see how we do it this time. Museum visitors. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day of the year except Labor Day. Last admission is at 4 p.m. daily. Damn. Try the door. You're a little late for the museum. And then what? Ben, you're being very uptight right now. So again, this reminds me a little bit of the very first scene back in Act 1 where we went down into the gas station. It seems sometimes when Conway tries to interact with people, it seems like they can't hear him. Yeah, I doubt they would be that rude as to just completely ignore him. And we can't actually walk up the steps. So unless we can find something else on the screen to interact with, we're just going to have to drive on. This is quite a large parking lot, I have to say. Especially since it appears to be completely unoccupied. Don't want to sit here too long if we can't find anything to do, so let's go ahead and drive the truck. So, what's the plan here? What do you think? Well, we've got to get back on the Zero and bring these documents back to the clerk at the bureau. I'm just not sure how to get there. The entrance at the farmhouse was gone. Let's ask the gas station if he knows another route. Sure, okay, worth a shot. Alright, so apparently entrances to the Zero are not consistent. Because the one that we had initially used to get in there, Shannon asserts that it's gone. I guess we could check for ourselves. So, let's head out. Oops, nope, I hit the wrong button. Let's try again. They have places to go. That's where I want. Okay. The truck's engine sputters and dies as Conway guides it carefully off the road next to a fallen tree. Oops. Act 3, Scene 2. A tree. The larch. I'm not sure if that's a larch, but yikes. I like how Ezra is just hanging out in the tree that has fallen over, surrounded by down power lines, but nah, it's okay. You can stay there, Ezra. I'm sure it's not dangerous. Nothing to be done? Can you take a look at it? I guess I could poke around in there, but I don't know a damn thing about engines. Wait, is this why you always leave your truck running? The sets is up on a hill, so I get the picture. Anyway, do you know this area? Anyone around here that could give us a hand? Looks like a road crew's been out here. Hey, we should call someone. Do you know a good towing company? What are our choices here? Hmm. Yeah, I like this name. Yep. Lucky Boot Collision and Towing. Here's their card. Lucky Boot. Alright, I'll give them a call. I hope I can get a signal out here. Let's give them a ring. Shannon speaks into the large brick cell phone held up to her ear. Well, that should date this game a little bit, I think. Hi, hello? We've got an old, I want to say diesel? Old truck just stalled out. It's always inaudible. I guess it's the middle of the night, so inaudible sleepy? Did I wake you? Your car says open 23 hours a day. Inaudible suspicious. We, yeah, we have a car. I mean, it's a truck. We're broken down by the side of the road. That's why I'm calling. How about inaudible obtuse? That's okay. Look, we need to get back on the road here, and I'm sure you're busy too. Ooh, inaudible maudlin. Are you? Is this a bad time? Inaudible pragmatic. Right, yeah, thanks. Okay, it's. Where are we? Route off 65. Just kind of pulled up by this tree that fell over. Inaudible tangential. Okay, well, I don't know any of those people, but that does sound like the right area. You've been over here before? Inaudible indulgent. Okay, my pleasure. How long do you think you'll be? Radio music. Hello? Typical customer service. All right, let's speak to Ezra. Are you bored? Not yet. Okay. To me, you look a little bored. Let's play a game. What would you like to play? Um, we can tell the future with this little tree branch. It's pretty easy. We just break off all the little sticks on each section and count through the different things that could happen. Okay, what should we ask? It should be about you. I can't do both the counting out and the questions. How will I travel in the future? Ezra snaps the smaller branches away one at a time, counting out possibilities. Motorbike, motorboat, horseback, Hearse, old truck, new truck, new truck. These other branches are too bare. Don't worry about it too much. It's just a bunch of sticks. I don't think I played that game growing up myself, but it does feel like a children's game, doesn't it? How about Shannon? I think they're on their way. Guess we have some time to kill. Pretty grim place to be stuck. I wonder what happened. To the tree, I mean. Maybe it was just old. You know what used to happen to old trees out in the forest? Wildfire would come through and clear them all out. It made room for the new trees. But then people built houses, and we can't have fires going all the time, so we keep putting them out. And now we have all these old trees choking out the saplings. Starving the young trees for resources, just clinging on to life until snap. And then some road crew comes by and blasts the stump with dynamite. I think I'll take a look at the radio of yours. Maybe I can get it going again. No point just standing around. Feels lonely out here. Alright, before we talk to Ezra again, just want to quick check anything else to interact with. Nope. Don't think so. Oh, something gonna happen? Hey. Switch scene. Trees. Is this the right way? I don't recognize these trees. What's to recognize? Just a bunch of trees. These trees are so quiet, right? Usually you'd hear birds, wind, a squirrel, or something. Turn your ears down and focus on the radio, Cricket. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm a little bored. I'll work some chord progressions in my head for a while or something. Road ahead. How far out are we? Are we there yet? Oh, stop. Harry's not going to be happy. You know he doesn't like me anyway. Tell him about the frog. He wouldn't understand. Hey, yeah, didn't you play this on this record? Go-Go was on it. Yeah, Go-Go. Go-Go, that guy is out of control. We should do a set with him. Only Johnny plays the notes I like. Aww. What time is it? You've got a timing circuit. Yeah, but yours is more accurate. Harry's gonna flip out. Relax, Cricket. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I'm being uptight. I'll make sure Harry pays up. I have a way with him. I know. Bye, sudden characters we just got introduced to. You know, we're already late. Are you going to explain all this to Harry? Oh, no way. You're the smooth talker. In fact, I bet you have no problem explaining we had to stop out of the goodness of our nature and check on some wayfaring strangers. Fine, just for a few minutes, though. You're the best. And hey, maybe if they're not busy, they can fill some seats at the gig. You know, if no one's there, Harry will try to bilk us on our fee. I guess they're turning around. In the meantime, what's up, Ezra? Was that him? Going pretty fast, whoever they are. I bet they're getting chased by something. Maybe they just didn't see us. Next time we should yell. Nope, here they are. Stay here. You notice that when Junebug moves, she makes a sound, kind of a mechanical sound. And when they were talking to each other about what time it was, they didn't say you had a clock, they said you had a timing circuit. So that's pretty suggestive that maybe these people aren't fully human. Careful, he's wicked with strangers. Ha, you. Who's chasing you? Hear that, Cricket? We're being pursued. I knew it. Who's after us? That's a good question. These folks seem to have a certain handle on the situation. So, dinosaurs! Sure, sure, something like that. Listen, we've got two questions for you folks. What kind of people do you take us for? I mean, how do we strike you? Not sure I follow. What kind of temperament do you think we have? What kind of work would you say we do? Astronauts are aliens. I always said you fell from heaven, ma'am. Otherworldly. It's unmistakable. Now, here's another question for you. Do you like music? Do you like music? Lisette used to sing in taverns on the weekend. Beautiful stuff. Of course you do. I like how they keep cutting them off. Say, they should come to our gig. What an idea. We're just trying to get back to the zero. The zero. Is that a fact? The zero? Hush, Cricket. Folks are in luck. I happen to know just where you're going, and I'm happy to lead you there. We've been down there many a time riding this baby. The Weird Vector. That's what we call our bike. We call it the Weird Vector because the front wheel's a little loose. Only, it's just... See, we have a regular booking tonight, and well, we're running late. Very late. That's what I told him. Now the old man who runs this venue, Harry Esperanza, is a notorious withholder. And if we don't get a few bodies in the crowd, well, he'll get all penny pinching on us. Just a short set. We only have one song prepared. You'll come to the gig, won't you? I think that's fair. Of course we will. Of course they will. Still not able to finish the sentence. Can you believe we almost didn't stop? Hungry, old lady? I think I've got a crust in the sidecar here. After all, it's so late. Well, it's all said and done. We stopped. That's all that matters. Our gig's at an old tavern called the Lower Depths. It's over there by old Charlie Morgan Highway, just east off 65. We usually take a ride off the interstate around the petting zoo. Johnny likes the petting zoo. I do like the petting zoo. Now, let's see about that truck of yours. I feel certain we can get it running. Is it? Oh, yep. Seems like she has enough expertise to get it running. We're passing a convenience store here. The convenience store is just a tiny booth in the middle of a lot that must have once been an active gas station. Disused pumps chip red paint into dull brown and white stains. The light in the booth is on. Approach a window. Conway approaches a window. The inside of the booth is big enough for a card table, 2 chairs, and a few plastic crates filled with snacks and warm Coke. Two men shuffle plastic dominoes across the table. Knock on the window. One of the men waves brusquely in Conway's general direction and returns his focus to the game. Look for a door? He finds the sliding service window on the far side of the booth. It's the kind of service window that can slide in and out of the booth without allowing anyone to reach in and make a grab for the cash register. Knock on the window? One of the men sends his partner an exasperated glance, then returns his attention to the game. Okay, how about some money? One of the men lets out a vexed sigh. Without standing or turning his eyes away from the game, he reaches into a plastic crate and retrieves a small blue bag, distractedly pushing it through the service window. Chips or something? The bag is illustrated with a cartoon drawing of an avocado, but the nutritional data suggests it's pretty sugary. The expiration date has been worn away. Okay, may not want to risk it. Looks like we can tune our radio here. I think so. Maybe. Here we go. Something. Not sure what that sound is. Kind of eerie, though. Is there anything else? Oh, there's something else. Can't really make out what he's saying. Well, whatever it is, it's over. Anything else? These are in kilohertz range, so this is AM radio. Some more eerie music. We have a picnic site. A blanket is spread in the grass just off the road. It would make a reasonable spot for a picnic, sheltered in the daytime by a coffee tree. Walk to the picnic spread. 5 places are set. One plate is piled with ham, another with apples. Examine ham. It definitely isn't ham. Maybe felt, dyed in embroidered fabric, some kind of toy ham. Someone must have been here playing at a picnic. The supplies are weathered. Hard to tell how long ago that happened. I don't think I've ever seen a play ham before. Hey, Shannon's workshop again. Anything new to see? The truck pulls into the bait shop parking lot. The bait shop is closed. Shannon fumbles with her key for a bit and then looks down at her feet. The locks have been changed. Huh. She writes a short but stern note about tenants' rights and pins it to the door. Oh, that sucks. Also kind of creepy. Okay, can't dial frequency up anymore. Let's see what's on the lower frequencies here. Nice to see that Julian is still hanging around, circling us. Looks like this is about all the weird stuff we can get on the radio. Let's see, where are we ultimately headed here? The lower depths. Charlie Morgan Highway just east off of 65, and take a right around the petting zoo. Okay. As before, we'll wander around a bit more just to see if there are any new sights to see. Again, I don't want to miss things if I can avoid it, but at the same time, I don't want us to have to spend too much time wandering around. How about over by the mine? Anything? Nope. It's like, alright, there's the tavern. Yep, because there's the petting zoo. Alright, so we know where we're ending up here. The petting zoo is closed. No other comment. How about over here? Back at the Marquez farmhouse. The farmhouse is silent and empty. The barn is still gone. So is the cave. A few horses graze in the empty field. Yep, sure enough, the previous entrance to the Zero is gone, although they don't really specify how Shannon knew that. Maybe it's something off camera that we're supposed to just understand. Clockworks. A faux rustic wooden sign hangs by chain above the door. Glasgow Clockworks, carved in a fanciful typeface, then set with what looks like brass or colored plastic. The windows are darkened, too crowded with antique clocks to make out the interior. A small metal sign bolted in the building's alley reads, GTS stop number 5, 5:30, 7:15, 8:45, 10:15, and 12:15, and then several more numbers or words worn illegible by rain. 3 people stand under the sign, a young man with a newspaper, a young woman scribbling anxiously in a leather-bound journal, and an older woman whose face is shadowed by a wide-brimmed hat. Peer into the window. It's hard to tell where the curtain's shadows end and the dusty clock silhouettes begin. Listen at the glass. It feels cool. His breath fogs the glass like September. It was fall when he met Lisette. School days. Neither of them were very good students. They'd cut out early and spend afternoons in darkened bars. Sometimes she'd sing, or he'd pick up bottles, and the staff would pretend they were old enough to be there. Conway and Lisette would pretend too. Then he got a long-haul job, lost it on the road, and took too long coming home. He took a job from a wiry, irritable roofer named Ira. Ira brought him home to meet the wife and son, and there she was. Conway kept his mouth shut, not out of respect, but out of habit. Another interesting look back at Conway's past. It's impossible to tell how late the bus runs. Are these people just waiting? Could they have missed the last bus? Offer a ride to the older woman? The old woman grumbles to herself as she climbs in the truck. Her name is Linda. She lives near the artificial limb factory, but can't be bothered for specifics. Okay. I guess we have an extra passenger here. I wonder what happens if we actually take her to where she's trying to go. Because she says she wants to go to the artificial limb factory, right? That's back this way. I'm curious. Also, apologies to Johnny and Junebug, because we are taking our sweet time to get to where they need to be. Ah, here we go. Linda's home. Linda doesn't care for the public transportation in this area. The buses are too small, in fact. They hardly qualify. Linda worked for 25 years as a city planner in Knoxville, so she knows, but it's not her place to say it, really. But if she were asked, if anyone were to ask, she'd start with public transportation. It's the pride of a civil society. It's a place as much as any city center. It ought to be funded as such. Sure, you could spend thousands on some concrete fountain, some scene of antiquity, something really impressive. But what does that do for a polis? Who meets at the fountain to exchange ideas? Drug dealers, that's who, and maniacs. Linda meets people on the bus or at the bus stop. That's where things get done. In Mexico City or Montreal or New York, the trains are so fluid in their dependability that they're practically a stable place themselves. They're at least as reliable a place as Linda lives here with her daughter and son-in-law in that squat gray building on the left. She owns the house, but her room is in the basement. The basement of her own house. Life is suffering, as they say. I have a feeling she did quite a bit of talking along the road about how things should be. Now, this begs the question, can we take the other two to where they need to be? Okay, we saw that before. Oh, look, we can. Okay, how about the younger woman? The younger woman accepts cautiously. Her name is Patty. She lives near the state park, a short drive west of the Marquez farmhouse on Route 70. Okay. Well, we know where the farmhouse is. So right up this way. Here we go. Patty's home. Patty has an idea for a new kind of chair. Not really the whole chair, just the part of the chair that lets you adjust the height or the tilt. It could be adapted to fit almost any chair design, and it doesn't take up much space. It could be flat-packed even. It's really a much more reliable design in the long term, and using the current crop of seat adjustment mechanisms, you're always running the risk of pinching your fingers, fumbling around down under your chair. Not so with Patty's new design. But it's not cheap to get a prototype fabricated for such a thing. Too many moving parts. That much is unavoidable. Patty's doing some freelance technical writing to pay the bills, and setting aside as much as she can towards the project. She calls it the project when talking to friends and family, and by now everyone knows what she means. In school, she was easily distracted. Her teachers never thought she'd really command her full potential, and so on. But it won't be long now. Patty's staying here in that ugly amber bungalow. Again, it's only temporary. Ah, the person with big ideas who hasn't made it big yet. So we'll head back over here. One last person at the bus stop. Offer a ride to the man. The man accepts gratefully. His name is Keith. He lives a ways west, not far from the Museum of Dwellings, just south across 65. Alright, so back we go. I'm glad that at least some of the landmarks remain marked on the map. They don't just appear and disappear like others do. Let's see. Over here, maybe? Oh, no, south. I'm sorry, south across 65, he said. Here we go. Keith's home. Keith is an auto claims adjuster now. He went to the University of Indianapolis, mathematics with a minor in sports marketing. Halfway through his junior year in college, Keith's boyfriend ran away with an older woman. His grades fell off, he stopped shaving, his friends were concerned and suggested he take a semester off to refocus himself. He sold his car and spent 3 months traveling the country by Greyhound bus. Keith found himself in Butte, Montana, in the dead of winter, his rough beard stained with gas station coffee and his eyes clouded with travel. He bought a second coat at the thrift store, then settled onto a stool in a tavern by the cemetery. Keith sipped a light beer and lost himself in a photo on the wall, a portrait of Evel Knievel. Knievel looks tired, more than tired, spent, drained, old. But Keith could have sworn those murky, bloodshot eyes were looking right into his soul, as if to tell him, Keith's apartment is here, on the left, the salmon-colored building. That's his apartment, with the blue and white star decals stuck in the window. Traveler. And of course, their descriptions stop because by that time you get to their destination. Interesting piece of trivia. My wife is related to Evel Knievel. There wasn't anything for the... No. Okay, I didn't think there was anything for the dwelling right now. Let's see. Last little run around here. I don't think anything was down here. Oh yeah, there was. Okay, I did want to come back down here because we have a drive-in theater. And Johnny and Junebug are following us. You may have seen in the dialogue, Junebug never calls Johnny Johnny. She always calls him Cricket. Looks like there's one other car in the audience here. This must be near the end. You think? Sure. You can tell that they're all in crisis. You don't think it's a happy ending? Sure, most of them are. But first everyone gets in a crisis, and that makes it more satisfying. Excellent observation, ma'am. I manage. Do you think they'll start over after the ending? Yeah, they do that sometimes. Good. I want to know how it starts. Maybe we can ask those folks in the pickup. They look like they're sleeping. Do all these people know each other? I think they work together. The dark-haired lady is the boss. She's just looking out for business. Oh, okay. How come nobody talks? It's silent, before your time. Do they just play old movies here? Probably so they don't have to give you speakers for your car. The car speakers are my favorite part. You know they use radio? Just regular radio, I mean. Sometimes people bring a little transmitter in and jam the signal with some circus music or something. Something loud and garish. That's what makes the best jamming signal. Hit all the frequencies. Damn, did you see that? I'm not sure you should be watching this, kid. I'm not watching. I didn't see that coming. Took a violent turn there. We should get back on the road. Let's just watch. See how it ends. So, what are you hauling back there? Anything good? You've been driving long? Antiques. Naturally. Do you have any of those little ceramic, I want to say porcelain figurines? You know, slice of life? You collect porcelain figurines? Nah, I just look at them sometimes. I like how they all have their jobs just painted on, you know? Like I saw one in a gas station the other day who could have been either a milkman or a cop. He had that hat and uniform, right? And who knows how it went down. Maybe they just had more blue paint that day. American Moments figurine, cop, $35. They post him next to a dusty milkman, his brother, $15. What are they doing? They're burying him. Time to get going? Might as well finish the film. Seems like a lot of trouble to make a delivery. You couldn't have referred them to someone local? They were very specific. Huh. Good for them knowing what they want, I guess. Whoa, that's it? Yeah, it's just kind of trailed off. It was really weird the way the big guy just sat down in the road like that. What do you think it means? I guess we'll never know. Okay, I can live with that. Well, let's get back on the road, huh?